Hi guys, and welcome to Car Flakes. Today we're going to get stuck into fixing this E90 and figure out some of the problems. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be plugging in, diagnosing some of the faults, and then we're going to try and fix them. So without further ado, let's crack on with that video. So here she is. She's been stood for about a week now. I have had the battery disconnected, and we've seemed to develop another fault because now the passenger door won't lock for some reason. I'll show you now. That locks, but the passenger nib won't go down at all. Another fault to fix. Anyway, let's get in and start plugging into this car. So this is the diagnostic tool I'll be using. This is an X-Tool D7. I'm not sponsored by these guys or anything, I just find they're a really good tool for multiple vehicles. So let's get plugged in. So on the E90, I've already took the plastic cover off, which is just here, and then you literally unplug that and then plug her in like that. Once that's done, we need to put the key in the ignition. Put it on the first click on the key, and now we're going to start faulting. So let's see what we got. We'll do an auto scan, saves me inputting all the data. Should find the VIN and what have you. Right, so it's found what vehicle it is. There's your VIN and everything. Press OK. Now it's scanning. Ah, there we go. Right. Let's turn the ignition off now. I'm conscious of fuel, it hasn't got much in it. So here we go, engine system, diagnose, read trouble codes. Cylinder misfire, here we go. Cylinder 2. Right, I suspect this is the coil. So I have actually ordered a coil for £20 and 87p. And it's a proper Delphi one, which is what BMW put in these cars. So I think today we'll get rid of this misfire and fit that first before we move on to the other fault codes. That one I suspect is the reverse lights, because the reverse lights aren't working, and that's a footwell as well. So we need to diagnose that. The ABS one has disappeared. I don't know what's happened to that, but that will come back. And obviously this one here, we suspect to be the AUC, because it actually says, which is the recirculate sensor under the engine, in the engine bay. So this should be an easy fix as well. So let's crack on with fitting the coil pack. Right, so the coil pack is actually under here. And I do believe we're going to have to take all this off to get to it, because obviously BMW have 50-50 weight distribution cars, so they're perfectly balanced because they're known as a driver's car. That's why the engine is pushed so far back, but also that means trying to get to things is a little bit more difficult. But well, I think what I'm going to try and do, because it's cylinder, I think it's number 2, I'm going to try and pull it out without having to remove this and see if I can get the coil in just by taking this off. You may be wondering why the hell I've got a plank of wood in there, and that's because these bonnet struts have failed, so I'll probably order these pretty sharpish if I'm going to be working on the engine a lot. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is try and get this oil cap off. So I think you turn it, that opens, there's a little nib here, and I think if you shove a flathead screwdriver in there and prise it, there's like a little nib, so just try and prise that over without breaking it. There we go, and that's off. Now I'm going to try and release this and slide it off if I can. Right, so I've managed to wedge just an extension in there just to prise it away. These are counted from the nearest one to yourself back. So this is cylinder 1 and this is cylinder 2. Now I've popped the cap but unfortunately it's getting a bit jammed here, so I'm going to have to do a bit of wiggling to try and get the connector off. And then I may have to just pull these out to give me enough room just to pull this coil out. Right, so after a bit of jiggery pokery, I had to get a screwdriver in there. I feel the mechanism on this is slightly broken, but I've managed to pull it off. Could this be the problem? Who knows, but I'm now going to attempt to try and get this coil out. So after rocking under the connector a little bit, she seems to have started to come out. Oh, lovely. Right, now that's coming out. Now, if I can just wiggle that, maybe turn it a little bit. Oh yeah, yeah. And there she is, the coil's out. So if you have a coil number 1 or number 2, you can actually get to these without having to remove all the top trays up here. Right, so here is the old one. This is the faulty one, and this is actually made by Bosch. I can't see anything on that would indicate that it's faulty. It's obviously an internal issue. So let's go and get the new Delphi one, which I got from Amazon for £20.87. Take it out the box. Right, so this is a new Delphi one. Let's compare the two. They're exactly the same, apart from obviously this one's got a metal sleeve and this one's just got a plastic sleeve. But it looks exactly the same, so let's go and fit this. So get it in the hole. Maybe I'll just squeeze it past. There we go, beautiful. And push that until it's seated. Push that down. There we go. You have to push it with your thumb until you feel it bottom out. And push the connector back in, and then you can see the trapdoor mechanism. Just lock it in place like that. Right, let's refit the cover and hopefully this will cure the misfire. So let's see if this has worked. Right, no engine light so far. Yeah, that seems to have gone. Let's fire up the old tool and see if that fault's gone. Right, so this is the historic code just here. So we'll just come out of this menu and I think we'll clear the code and then we'll see if it comes back. There we go. So let's turn the engine off just to be 100% sure. And straight away, even when you turn the engine on, it feels a lot smoother. So let's start her up again. Clutch down. And automatic scan. And again, yes, it's gone. The fault code is gone, so we've fixed the engine fault for like 20 quid. I'm so happy with that. Let's go and have a look at some of the other faults. So while I've still got the engine bay open, the AUC sensor is just located here, and this is the one I'm going to order. It will be, I think I found online for about 18 quid second hand. So they just flip out like that and then pull out. It's really easy to take it out. And these are the things that go faulty, you see. So I will remove this to get the code, and then I will purchase another, and that one should be another easy fix. If you're enjoying this video so far, why not consider liking and subscribing? Right, so I've got the car up on axle stands. To do this, I found it a lot easier to jack the car off the rear diff. That will then raise the car quite high, and then put your axle stands on the rear, and then lift it up from the central jacking point under the engine and do the same, and that is the easiest way to get it up. So let's now start the car up, turn the DTC off, and let's see if the whine is coming from the diff or the gearbox. Right, so I'm going to press and hold this for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there we go, that's off now. So what I'm going to do is stick the car into first and see what happens. Right guys, so what I've done, I've put the car in 6th gear to get the wheels really spinning, but I can already hear from inside the car that is definitely coming from the rear. I'll try and get in if you can hear this. It is definitely coming from the rear. I can hear it coming from the rear clearly. Now, that noise is just the tyre, the brakes binding slightly, that's normal. But I'm going to try and get under here and see if we can hear the diff itself. And there you have it. That is a very, very noisy diff. So we're going to have to remove this and replace it with a second-hand unit. So another thing is, while I have been diagnosing the whine coming from the differential, the ABS lights now come on. So I'm now going to use my scan tool and figure out which side it is. Right guys, so after doing a reset, I think when I was spinning the wheels freely, it upset the ABS system and the occupant sensor as well. So I've cleared all the fault codes and they've stayed off now. But what I am going to do, because I'm going to have a look at the diagnostic tool here and just check the speed sensors. This is how you check a speed sensor. So I'm going to rotate the wheel on the front right. What I'm going to do is spin the wheel with my right foot and also see what the live readings are. So let's see if this works. See, that's the right front wheel working. So we know that speed sensor is good. Now I'll do this to every single one and that'll tell me if I've got any speed sensor issues on the ABS. So I checked all the wheel speed sensors and they came back all fine. So we don't have any issues on that front. Now I'm going to go under the car with the engine running and just see if I can hear where this exhaust is rattling. Right, so it looks like I've found it already. So it's just at the front. It looks like here, that's what you can hear. It seems to be, I'm just going to need a nut and bolt to fix this because it looks like the top of the screws perished or rusted away, and I've just got to put a new bolt, tighten that up. That'll hold the exhaust in place and stop rattling. So that's another easy fix we can do. So looking back at the diagnostics, we've cleared a lot of the faults already, but the one that's bothering me, obviously I know this one is the one that's under the bonnet, which is an easy fix. I've already ordered that. It cost me £16, so that's a cheap fix. But this one, if we diagnose the FRM, which I suspect it's going to be the reverse lights, if we go to live data, if we go to, so we've got reverse lamp right, and where's the other one? A reverse light left. So let's have a look at that reverse light. There you go. Can you see that? Short circuit. So we've got a short circuit on the reverse light left. Let's go and check the reverse light right. Reverse light right, which is that one. And as you can see, no short circuit. So it's something to do with the left hand reverse lamp. So let's go and check that out. So this is the reverse light left, and it's part of the boot on the pre-LCI model. So let's open it up. These struts are knackered. I will replace these. But what we're going to do is take these plugs out using this special tool I've got, and then we'll have a look inside the light. Right, so I've moved the cover. It's got to come in here now and pop your finger there and pop that out. Right, now looking at these bulbs, the reverse lamp is that one there, but it doesn't seem to be blown. So I'm wondering if we have a short circuit issue within the wiring. Let me take this bulb out and see, because I know these P21s sometimes can make a bad connection and cause a short. So let me take the bulb out and put it back in and see what happens. Guys, so what I've done is, to prove this, I took the bulb out, made no difference. I've took the whole module out of the back light, and if we go into the module again, diagnose, live data, reverse light left, you can still see the short is there. Right guys, so after looking at the wiring seems fine to the reverse light. appears it might be the module itself. So I'll save that for another day. I'll pull it out, see if it's got any water in it or anything like that. We might be able to repair it. But I think that's as much as I can do today. I've repaired the misfire. I've diagnosed the fault with the differential for sure. I just need to take a picture of that and order a new one or a second-hand unit. And yeah, it's been quite a successful day. I've got the car in the air. I've obviously found there's no problem with the ABS sensors or anything. So overall, it's been a good day. So please stay tuned for the next installment. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it really helpful and informative. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Until the next one.